What's good, everyone? This is Marcus the Fingers back at it again with another video. This is sort of how I built this new track for latest contest by We Sample Everything. Shout out to We Sample Everything. If you've seen some of my videos in the past, you know I've entered a lot of their contests over the last really over the last year. This is the latest contest they have where they provided samples for producers to flip. You know how I do, threw it in the iPad in Beatmaker 3 and started working on it. So I'm just going to show you what I did to build the track, and then I'll link to another video showing the full complete version of the track. So I'll start off with playing what the samples are so you get an idea of where I'm starting with. So I'm going to go to We Sample Everything, and this is contest sample. So here's the first sample. So I won't play the whole thing, but that has sounds like a little maybe bass, guitar, electric guitar, and maybe some type of Rhodes or keys in there. And then here's the drums. Again, I won't play the whole thing, but typical drums, you know, bass, hi-hat, snare. There's a little percussion in there, and then some toms towards the end of that. So I'm going to start with the drums. So I basically took that drum pattern and chopped it up. So I came up with some different chops, kick, snare, hi-hat. So here are the chops I got. So tell you a little bit, first is the kick. I just took the kick, one of those kicks, and took it out. Same with the snare. And then the hi-hat, found one, I believe it was layered with a kick, and I filtered out the kick. The open hi-hat was also layered with a kick, but I left that one in there just because of the way I programmed the beat. The percussion, typical percussion, sounds pretty dope. I think I may have lowered the pitch on that percussion. Yep, so I lowered it. You see where this says 9? I'm changing it right now. I lowered that 9 semitones. Another snare hit, a lighter snare hit, just like a little ghost snare. That's one of the toms. At the end of that tom, there's also a kick drum. So I have that, I believe at the end of 8 or 16 bars. This is another lower tom, and then the floor tom. And then next to that, I took some of that static, some of that vinyl crackle, and just let that loop throughout the song. So this one is really fun. This is actually, I recorded some automation on this. So this is the snare drum. I'll put it back on reset. So that's the regular snare drum, but I do some snare fills where I lower the tune while playing it, so it'll sound like this. And it sounds really good in the mix. So I record that automation, so you'll hear like almost like a slowing down effect, but it adds just a different vibe to it. And then finally, I have this, which is basically it's this. It's the hi-hat, but I reversed it and I took off that first kick, so it stops before the beginning. So this is the original forward, and I just reversed it, and I lowered that by 9 semitones. So that's the drums. This is how the drums sound. I'll just play the drum pattern real quick. Let's see. Yeah. So at the end of those bars, you hear sort of that drum, that snare drum automation I was talking about. So next up, I have a bass. This was not a bass from the sample. This is a bass I took from Bassalicious, classic synth bass. Just played a bass line along with the sample in the same key. So here's the bass. And just to show you some effects I have on the bass here, I have Go To EQ by Clef Grand, just using their Good Start preset, and then I adjusted some of the frequencies, attenuation of some of the high end, going into Low Fly Dirt, again using the default mode here, and then another EQ, just cutting off some highs after the Low Fly Dirt into that bass, and after that I went into the sample. Let's see if I can. So here's the basic sample chops I did right here. there's some effects on there. So I'll show you the effects I have on those chops there. So that's just different chops from the original sample. I did pitch that up 3 semitones, and I added some delay to the attack, so I didn't have any clipping noises at the beginning, and then I filtered out some of the high end, so you see that low pass filter on there. So those are the different chops I have. I think I only maybe used half of the 16 chops I made. And the effects I have on there, Pro Q3, my latest EQ purchase, my first FabFilter purchase ever. I don't have any FabFilter plugins on the laptop, so my iOS FabFilter Pro Q3. Definitely enjoy this app. I really like it. Very easy. For the sample, I'm just taking off a lot of low end, a lot of high end. Just keeping that middle range. But then I'll show you later what I'm doing with Watt, which is sort of putting some of that back in there. And then going from there to Quattro Mod to add some width onto that sound. And then with the Watt plugin, this is I don't know how you say it, Watt, but it's a emulation of the OTT desktop plugin. I'm adding a little bit of high end back, taking out more low end and adding in some mid gain after doing some of those effects earlier. And then after that, I have some automation with Effectrix going on after about 8 or 16 bars, so you hear some of that come in. And then after that, I have a gated effect, and I'll do another video showing how I do this, but basically what it does is after the frequency goes below a certain threshold, you'll hear the delay come in. Otherwise, you won't hear the delay. So it has to fall below a threshold. I'll share how I do that in another video, but it's basically like multi-band delay effect that I'm using with Cleverand Motley app here. So here is, I'll show you if I can get to that automation that I did on this sample here. We'll go, I think it's at 17. So you hear sort of like that underwater warbly. I'm using that Beatmakers is a squad preset here, number 8. I don't know what's called, French Toast or French something. In Effectrix here to get that underwater warbly sort of sound. After that, I have bells-like sound called Tape Keys by Kronecker. This is how this is sounding. Let me unmute that. We'll do this. So it's just playing little notes here and there. Here's how that sounds. So that comes in every once in a while. And then finally, I added some piano, just me playing chords along to the beat. Here is that piano. I'm using my own preset called Talk Music here in Retro Piano. I changed a few of the settings. I think I lowered the reverb. Here is how the piano sounds by itself. It's really just me playing. I'm in the key of F sharp minor, so just playing some keys along to the sample. I'll just give you an idea of the whole track. I'll start maybe about halfway through so you can hear everything, but I will link up to the full version of the final track. So I'll just play a couple seconds here and then I'll link to the full version. So here is an idea. So that's just an idea. I'll link to the full track. Thank you for checking this out. Shout out to We Sample Everything again for this opportunity, for this contest. Good luck to everyone who enters. There's still plenty of time to enter. And thank you all for checking this out. I will see you all in the next video. Be safe and be well, everyone. All right, peace.